Hey, welcome to the second course video for the song Clouds from NF in his 2021 mixtape by the same name. I'm musically malnourished, and you're on my journey to go deep and wide in discovering new music and artists. In these videos, we do a deep dive into the lyrics and meaning behind the music. So let's get in, see what all is going on with Clouds. Clouds marks NF's first release of 2021, following his October 2020 track Chasing, the demo. On the track, NF recounts success and shares how he doesn't fit the classic rapper mold. The classic cinematic production resembles the opening track of his 2019 album, The Search, both handled by NF's main producer, Tommy Profit. The track is the second single off of NF's Clouds, the mixtape, releasing on March of 2021. The song premiered with a music video, which that is over on Patreon, directed by Patrick Toohill, who has done most of NF's videos in the past. Okay, so just a lot of factual information, nothing really about the song. I was really impressed by the music video. What does the voice at the beginning say? Reversing the beginning of the song, it's a pitch down vocal saying heads in the clouds. Oh. Similar to songs like Leave Me Alone, which also opens with reversed voices. Okay, Tommy Profit has a little behind the scenes of how he produced it. Cool, we might get that up on Patreon. Think that'd be a fun video. Okay, let's get into it. Sadolk ekt ni de heads in the clouds. Verse 1. Calmly feel myself evolving, appalling so much I'm not divulging. Been stalling, I think I hear applauding, they're calling. Mixtapes aren't my thing, but it's been awfully exhausting. Hanging on to songs this long is daunting. All right, so obviously he's just had some stuff he's been working on, maybe stuff he didn't intend to put in the project, like whatever his full album was. And he's like, all right, I got to get this stuff out. Which caused me to have to make a call I thought was ballsy, resulting in what you see today, proceed indulging. As always, the one-trick pony's here, so quit your sulking. This has mixtapes, Mixtapes are often independently released by artists to gain exposure. Nate has released 4 albums and 2 EPs up until this point of his career, so dropping a mixtape could be considered a bold choice. In an interview with Apple Music One's Zane Lowe that coincided with the single's release, NF explained his reason. He has an interview with Zane Lowe? I need to check that out. His reason for dropping a mixtape instead of his typical conceptual albums. I didn't want to release a full-length album, I didn't want to release a full length if I couldn't tour it, because it's a huge part of my records. I like to build shows with stuff from the covers, stuff from the videos. I like making it all one thing. Later in the interview, Zane asked NF about these lyrics, to which he answered, yeah, the ballsy line was more about I feel like up to this point I've built a fan base. I built a fan base that's really strong. It was kind of talking about that point in my career where it's like, I do feel like it's a weird ballsy move for me to drop this because I know it's not an album, but it's been a long time since I've released music. Yeah, and I guess like if you try to think about maybe the perception from the music industry, because I feel like if you're a fan of NF, who cares if this is ridiculous? Hold on. If you're a fan of NF, like who cares if it's a EP, if it's a mixtape, if it's an album? Like getting music from him is exciting. But I guess probably from maybe some perception of the industry or outsiders or critics. Because a lot of times I feel like 2 mixtapes are early in someone's career. It's kind of this sampling of here's what I have the capability to do. I like the idea that somebody can just drop something with maybe fairly unrelated content, but just some fun stuff they've been working on, stuff they know is not going to go on their album, but they really want to get it in front of the people. But I understand probably from certain perception, it could be like, I don't know, just maybe thinking that it's like always washed up, or I don't know. You let me know, like, why someone would have an issue with dropping a mixtape. I don't know. There's plenty of people that'll find issues for everything. Or maybe everybody wanted an album from him, so the idea that he was going to drop it was like, oh, this isn't the album. Now, this comes from an interview, right? NF often referred to or accused of being a one-trick pony because in the majority of his songs, many consider him to be sulking and whining with his lyrics. So NF is putting it out there, letting you know that he knows that is how some view his music. Sure. And somebody recommended a Rolling Stone article. So I don't remember if it's in that article that they specifically called him a one-trick pony. It's probably not the only time it's been used. But I do know there are some things that fed into that idea with one of the later songs in the album. It was Paid My Dues. Because I remember hearing Paid My Dues and I was thinking like, this sounds like he's talking about like some specific things that were written or said about him. Verse 2, born efficient, got ambition, sort of vicious, yup, that's me. Not artistic, unrealistic, chauvinistic, not those things. Go the distance, so prolific, post-scriptic, move swiftly. Unsubmissive, the king of mischief, the golden ticket, rare sight to see. That's great. Obviously is a Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory. I stay committed, embrace the rigid. I'm playful with it, yeah, basically, too great to mimic. You hate, you're bitter, no favoritism, that's fine with me. Create the riddles, portrayed uncivil, unsafe a little, oh yes, indeed, which I'm sure points to, and he's talked about in the past how some parents have viewed him and his music that maybe it's too aggressive or, you know, in some ways a bit violent, or just the concepts that he's talking about, you know, they don't necessarily want their children listening to. It's plain and simple. It is funny though, because in most of his music videos, he is acting like a punk. Like, it's just something I've noticed. It pretty much any time he's in a music video with anyone other than just him. And so obviously I'm not talking about the more story-based ones like Time and even Story. He doesn't interact too much with people in The Search. There's people around, but I'm trying to remember the one that he was like working, I can't remember the song title, on the truck, the trash truck. You know what I'm talking about though. He's working all these blue collar jobs. It's kind of a nuisance. And then was it in, yeah, it's in Clouds. He's kind of a nuisance in Clouds as well. He's like grabbing people's stuff, drinks and things. So, you know, I get it a little bit. Where were we? I stay committed, embrace too great to mimic, you hate, you bitter, create the riddles, portray as plain and simple. I'm far from brittle. Unbreakable, you following? I'm Bruce Willis in a train wreck. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. If you haven't seen it, you should. It's not, it is a slow burn. I mean, I don't know. I was enthralled the entire time, but my goodness, just an incredible piece of filmmaking. Bruce Willis plays a regular man turned vigilante in a film called Unbreakable. Bruce Willis's character, David Dunn, discovers he can't be hurt after surviving a train wreck and winding up being the sole survivor. NF is implying that just like Dunn, he's unbreakable, both in a physical and mental state. I'm trading in your car for a new jet. I'm like having a boss getting upset because you asked him for less on your paycheck. I'm like a boss having a boss getting upset because you asked him for less on your paycheck. like doing headstands with a broke neck. Watching your kids take his, I'm like watching your kid take his first steps. I'm like saying Bill Gates couldn't pay rent. Trading in your car. I'm like having a boss getting upset because you asked him for less. Okay, you go to your boss. You normally want to ask for more, which means they got to pay you more money. But if I'm your boss and you come to me asking for less money and I get upset at you, why am I struggling? I understand the idea, but I'm trying to figure out what exactly is he just saying it's backwards, it doesn't make any sense? Obviously, because the other ones, like saying Bill Gates couldn't pay rent, I'm assuming he's just saying like it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, that's right. Because couldn't pay rent because he's too broke. Where am I going with this? All right, that's gonna be my story. If you think there's something even more there, let me know. Because I was trying to figure out if he's saying like he delivered more on this mixtape or with his music than we were asking for, but I feel like it's just meant to portray like it doesn't make sense. It's backwards. Unbelievable? Yes. Inconceivable. See myself as fairly reasonable, but at times I can be stubborn, so if I have to, I will rock the boat. I don't tend to take the easy road. That's just not the way I like to roll. What you think's probably unfeasible, I've done already 100-fold. 100-fold, it's probable that I might press the envelope. Ideas so astronomical, sometimes I find them comical. Yeah, incomparable. Replay value phenomenal. Beat selection remarkable. Slowing Nate down impossible. I don't rock no rollies. What is a rollie? Oh, Rolex. Okay. Clearly I'm not on the inside. Rollie is a popular slang term for luxury switch watchmaker Rolex, often flexed in modern rap. This opens the part of the song where he criticizes commercial rappers' most popular boasts, explaining that he really doesn't really care about trophies and other symbols of his lifestyle. He could also be alluding to the Rolling Stone article, that's what I was talking about, published in August 2019, which heavily criticized his album, The Search. What? He alluded to the article in his 2019 single, Paid My Dues, where he said, quick, 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 here the critics come. It's time to go. I read your article. It kind of hurt me. So yeah, that's what I was referencing. But I mean, I guess it makes sense. I wouldn't have assumed it would be about The Search. Gosh, The Search was so brilliant. Why don't we do this while we're here, huh? NF's The Search is a one-note depression symphony. The Search is an arduous slog that fails to render NF's mental health struggles with much tension or texture. By Danny Schwartz. I bet you I can't even read this if I don't pay for it. Can I? Okay, is that it? All right. One, two. It's barely more than 3 paragraphs. Oh, look, there's an audio version. The last week of July okay, dang it. We're barely into this thing. The last week of July produced an inadvertent first week sales clash between Chance the Rapper and NF, a Michigan rapper with a significant cult following. NF is orders of magnitude less famous than Chance, but that didn't stop his album The Search from outselling Chance's Wife-a-Palooza, The Big Day, by 22,000 units. It was Christian rap's version of Kanye West's Graduation, beating out 50 Cent's Curtis back in 2007. Okay. In characterizing NF and The Search, Chance offers a useful point of comparison. Like Chance, NF frequently raps about looking to God for strength and salvation. Like The Big Day, the search harps on a single theme for 75 minutes. But the parallels end there. While Chance is an avatar of human joy, NF is an avatar of suffering. While Chance's music eagerly hops between genres, NF's production palette offers little beyond melodramatic, heavy-handed orchestral flourishes and cavernous reverb. His co-producer, Tommy Profit, has made music for TV shows like 24 and Quantico, and it shows. No matter how much The Big Day shrunk Chance's expansive worldview down to repetitive spousal kowtowing, the album isn't nearly as claustrophobic as The Search, a dark echo chamber in which NF raps passionately and loudly in an attempt to process the realization that fame and success have only exacerbated by his already suffocating depression. In turn, he suffocates the listener, making your way through The Search can feel like getting fitted for a straitjacket. Wow. Stylistically, NF bears an uncanny resemblance to Eminem, the undulating cadences prone to blow like a volcano at any given syllable, the impulse to put pedal to metal and rap at top speed, the audacity to raid the thesaurus for words like compliancy in order to satisfy a rhyme scheme. Come on, dude. What are you talking about? I mean, I know the word compliancy without a thesaurus. That's stupid. They even wear the same hat. Yet, where Eminem's tendency towards the profane gives him dimension, NF's PG, swear-free raps flatten him. I disagree with that. He is either a worse writer than he thinks he is, a bad editor, or both, because he dwells on his own misery so persistently and in such recursive language that his verbosity verges on word vomit. I'm sorry, we want to criticize the thesaurus users? Come on. On Leave Me Alone, he admits that his severe OCD prevents him from parsing insights from mundane observations. I might take a normal thought and think it's so profound, ruminating, fill balloons up full of doubt, and do the same things. If I don't, I'm overwhelmed. Thoughts are pacing, they go around and around. Despite all this, NF is increasingly difficult to ignore, and not just because of his chart success. He is a genuinely engaging artist who raps with impressive intensity and clarity, if not nuance. Okay, well, that's kind. He confronts his incurable sadness head on, and it's easy to identify with his mental health struggles. Okay, that's a positive. But for an album about depression, The Search contains a noticeable lack of tension and interior texture. NF raps like Mike Shinoda and carries the burden of Chester Bennington. NF raps like Mike Shinoda and carries the burden of Chester Bennington. Is he trying to say that, like, his raps... No, I'm trying to figure out what he's trying to say about Mike Shinoda. I mean, I enjoyed Mike Shinoda's rapping, but I also feel like NF's on a totally different spectrum. Obviously, Chester had the heavier burdens in life, or that they affected him more with mental health. But where Linkin Park made depression feel impassibly real and viscerally threatening, like a giant, jagged shard of ice, NF renders his demons as formless blobs. His go-to metaphor for depression is a bouquet of black balloons. Still, there are moments on The Search that achieve the catharsis he seeks, soaring choruses like the one on Change and Time, where his mighty, swelling production washes over him, and he gives himself enough space between syllables to breathe. Oh, that's a little backhanded right there. Okay. You know, there is one thing I can relate to within that article. It's challenging for me to listen to a full album of NF's. Now, I haven't gone back to listen all the way through The Search, but I do find myself kind of in this, like, I don't know, but I've kind of been like that with a lot of rap and hip hop. It's hard for me to do rap after rap after rap after rap after rap. it begins to sound very similar to me. It begins to kind of just like sound like angry people talking. But that's me personally. I know there are a lot of people that don't feel that way. I just prefer, and I think I find that in music that's not rap and hip hop based, is just very different songs, very different sounds, very different attitudes. Now, that's not always true. I mean, there are other albums out there that are just very like mellow all the way through, very similar sounds. And so I can understand this feeling of like, gosh, man, like everything is just bad and hard. But I also feel like the Search had quite a bit of very different songs. So I can understand where they're coming from, but it definitely feels a little bit harsh. They did also, I feel like said a few things that were genuine and were true, while then at the same time being a little bit backhanded, especially there at the end. So, okay, well, let's continue on. Glad we got to that. So I don't rock no rollies. I don't hang around no phonies. I don't really got no trophies. I don't know why God chose me. Got something in the cup, ain't codeine. Change my style, they told me. Now they come around like homie. Man, y'all better back up slowly. I thought codeine was generally in a pill form. Like oxycodone, maybe I'm confusing it. While it's unclear what's in NF's cup, variations of this line are used frequently in rap. Codeine is an opiate used to treat pain. However, it is commonly consumed as a drug in the form of a soft drink, really. Commonly referred to in rap music as lean. This syrupy drink has become a staple to some in the rap industry. Health advocates have stated it is dangerous and can have harmful effects on those who consume it. Taking that into account, NF is distancing himself from this particular group of people that promote the consumption of lean. He's been very vocal about his disapproval of drinking, doing drugs, and smoking, among other things. In his March 2015 track, Motivated, he raps, "You sippin' on syrup, that doesn't mean you're a sick rapper. See what it means, you gun probably get sick after." Verse 5. Ooh. Who are you kidding? How could you doubt me? I've always delivered. Ripping the teeth out of, I love this line, ripping the teeth out of the back of my mouths, the closest you get to my wisdom. Obviously, he's speaking about wisdom teeth that are kind of the molars in the back of your mouth. And I guess he's trying to speak to those that don't understand what it is that he's saying, or again, people who are phonies, people who rap about foolish things, because NF does share a lot of wisdom, I feel like, in his lyrics, a lot of life advice. And so he's saying the closest you'll get to his wisdom is if you rip out his wisdom teeth. I think that's a very cool line. See, my initial thought was to wait, but what can I say? I had to come visit. That's probably in reference to the mixtape. Check on you guys. You doing all right? Your year really sucked? Yeah, that's what I figured. They cover their heads up whenever I drop. Shake the whole industry, put them in shock. Come out the clouds like a meteor rock, then land on the earth like ready or not. Ain't no one like me, the cream of the crop. I don't even front better, give me some props. I pick up your body and throw it a block. Okay, I admit it, that's over the top. I always love when he does that. He gets a little violent and he's like, all right, my bad. Oh my gosh, dude, it just keeps going. Verse 6, deer in the headlights looks every time I step my foot. On the ground I get mistook. For a lame with no weight to his name, ground just shook. I get mistook for a lame with no, I wonder if he's referencing like a lame deer? NF is claiming everyone thinks he has no weight to his name or no popularity to his title, but when he steps in the ground, it shakes as a result of the weight to his name. maybe, let me see. I've been getting tricked by Genius Lyrics recently. Let's look for ourselves. Deer in the headlights look every time I step my foot on the ground. I get mistook for a lame with no weight to his name. Okay. I mean, obviously I know what lame is, but I'm trying to figure out if he's also connecting it to deer, because obviously you can have lame deer. I guess I don't know. That would be my guess. Almost like a lame duck. Let's not beat around the bush. Even my B-sides throw him off like, how's he do it? Some say I'm a great influence. I don't know about that, but I did do the best I could. Hollywood, Hollywood. Hope Nate doesn't go. Hope Nate doesn't go Hollywood. Okay, I think I messed that up. You think that. You don't know me good. Hollywood. I always advance. Say how I feel. You know where I stand. Raising the bar, I gotta expand. Top of the charts, I'm setting up camp. Pounding my stakes, I put up my tent. Shoot for the stars, they fall in my hand. Okay, like shooting the stars and they fall in his hand. Stick to my guns, I don't even flinch. Can push all you want, ain't moving an inch. I rarely miss, you know I'm relentless. Ain't got a choice, no way to prevent it, just who I am, and I don't regret it. See what I want, and then I go get it. Followed my gut, I'm happy I did it. Beat all the odds, I ain't got no limits. Cannot be stopped, you paying attention? I ain't got to say it, they know where my head is. They know where my head is. That was one of my favorite lines, because it's called Clouds. His head is in the clouds. Okay, man. I didn't do like a word count on that. It was a lot. I forget, there was a thought that I had, but I can't remember what it was. So, well, let me know your thoughts on this song. If there's anything you saw that I didn't see, we can have a conversation in the comments. Thanks for being with me for this one. I hope to see you in the next one, because we're eating good.